and close our eyes and take a few deep breaths together. And appreciate the opportunity that all of us have to express and bring forth our gifts and capacities and keep learning and growing and just doing things we never thought we would do for the good of the whole. And isn't this cool that we're getting to play this game in a way that just, I don't know, it was unimaginable a month or two ago. And here we are, just being the best we can be in our authentic, awesome selves. And just expressing love at every turn that we can. Love, service, connection. I like that. Love, service, connection. You know, just as an ongoing, as that's, you know, that's really our ongoing life. So here we are doing that, and I guess we'll do it till we don't. And it's like, wow. And so it is.
So it is. Glenn, have you ever felt pessimistic?
You know, it's not, if I do my best to get that thought out of my head as quick as possible.
Right on.
You know, I don't go there for, I always see the, you know, I don't know, I guess maybe I've just entrainment, but for many years, I've really worked at always seeing the glass half full.
Well, I just really appreciate that energy in you because it's always, it's kind of like a standard that I've grown accustomed to and count on. It's like you're always there for that. So appreciate it.
Yeah, yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Glenn. So, where to begin? Do you want to do some brief check-ins? Let's do that and see where we're at. Check-ins.
I'm happy. I mean, I'm just so, I'm beyond happy. I'm ecstatic about what's unfolding and what I'm watching the universe drop in our lap and in our collective laps. It's just, it's fucking amazing. And it's just, you know, it's just amazing. And nothing we could have anticipated. I mean, look at what's going on, you know, and all the connection and service we're being enabled to and supported in showing up as, and we're not near done. I mean, I've kind of got this image of us riding the tiger. I mean, we're holding on to this tiger for dear life, and look at all that's coming from that. So I'm just like, whoa, what's next? So that's me.
That is definitely you, Glenn. I would say I'm pretty optimistic most of the time. So I like that you're contagious like that. my check-in is that I'm quite pleased that the Japamala is completed, that it was complete last night, and that just felt really good. And we'll see what happens if they start coming on the Sunday nights. I think they will, at least the people who showed up. And I'd kind of like to open it up to more than just the Japamala people. So we can talk about that. But been doing some editing on my children's book. I'm just about finished with it. I thought I was, but then kind of went back and redid the whole thing. So I'm excited that that's just about complete. And it's interesting what the connection field does. It just gives us plethora of language and new visions and ideas. And
We hold on, Linda, hold on 1 second. Julie, can you make me co-host, please? And Linda, will you just repeat that? Just make me a co-host. I'm getting pretty good at this.
okay, what I was
Hold on,
repeating.
wait, okay. No, you made Linda co-host.
Oops.
So breathe that one. Hold on, Linda, and just start that over again.
You can make Shelley one too.
Well, you're already recording it. What?
No, trust me, all right?
I trust you. What you're doing, I trust you.
Okay, hold on. Just 1 minute. Hold on, just 1 second.
Except I don't know what I said because that's the way I work. It's like, that's
That's the way I work too. I can never go back to where I was because it's
Okay.
not there.
You guys, I love you dearly. So Linda, just say something so that everyone else mute yourself, please. Because what you were saying was real incredible. So just mute yourself, except for Linda.
So the connection field has been giving me a plethora of visions and words and ideas that we're just drawing from everyone who comes on board, and then that translates into our own work and what we're doing just personally. So I really do believe that we're being contagious, and the love is really strong, and it's so inspiring. Everybody is just inspiring. The little nuggets that they say, and truly what the field is allowing to come through us is, it's like I don't have a word. Inspiring is what I want to say, but that's not really the strongest word for it. There's a new language, there's a new frequency, there's a new way of communicating. And even earlier today, John and I were on a big call. I don't know if any of you were, but it was really apparent that this language, sometimes it's just so immense that the balance of that is total silence, is not having any words at all. And that feels so good. It like Glenn, when you just started us and we heard the bell and you didn't say anything, it's like you can really feel the energy of everyone who's around when we're in silence together. So nice balance going on, great inspiration. Yeah, and it's certainly helping me in my work, my writing, and my creating. Little piece of everybody coming into my soul. Yeah, so that's really for my check-in. I'm happy that the Japamala is completed, and I feel really good and complete about that. Looking forward to seeing what's going to happen on Sunday nights. And thank you to Shelley and Julie for putting this digest together. It's like every time I get it, it's like, oh my God, new. All these new things coming in and connections being made. I do want to say that one of the joys is meeting someone in an hour in the resonance field. and a day later seeing them again, and you feel like you know them.
Okay, could you hold on? Now take that back. Start again. I'm not kidding you. Just bear with me. So just I heard you just rewind that. Okay.
Rewind. So the one of the miraculous things about the connection field is that you can pop on in any hour in the resonance lounge and have a big group or a small group, but you make a connection with someone, you meet someone, and you feel like you're friends immediately. And the next time around, it's like, oh, I'm familiar, I know you, I know a little bit about your story. And it just feels like this, it's so natural and it's so easy. Just meeting new people that are, they jump right into the resonant field. So I'm really grateful for that. Am I complete?
Yeah, baby, you're good.
All right, I trusted you. Have no idea, but there you go.
Perfect.
Well, what Linda was just saying would be it's a wonderful discussion topic because it is happening, and that is, you know, like Linda was saying this morning, we went from having words to having no words, and the power was still there. And as a matter of fact, Caro, that lovely young woman from France, she was so enthralled with it that she would unmute herself and sit there in this gaze with this smile on her face, communicating so much, everybody getting it, and then she would put herself back on mute, and someone would pick it up and match her in her saying nothingness with saying something that fit totally with what she said in nothing. It was great. Anyway, so that it's really a beautiful thing. And what Linda's saying about meeting other people when in resonance, and this was another piece that came through, heartfelt resonance, we see that again, the diversity, all beings being a reflection of ourselves. And so there's that almost instantaneous joining into the unified field, knowing that there is no separation. And as the hours go on in the day in the connection lounge, it just deepens and deepens and deepens. So it's really a wonderful experience. I think it's been a great thing. I think everybody's really enjoying it. The transfer from one to another is getting much more smooth, so that there's not that little juggernaut that's in between, and the transitions are great. And when the next person comes on, like I do, almost everybody does, 10 minutes early or 15, you pop right in and what the energy field's bringing through, and it's so lovely to just keep that going. So even if it goes, like I think from the one we did at 9 o'clock, Shelly and I, that had 34 people, 36 people. Then my hour followed that, and we had 20, started out with 24, and then it goes down, but then it's like the numbers start to not matter because the energy is being held so clearly that I know the transmission's going out. You can feel that happening. So that's been a really great thing, and I think we're doing a good job with that. For me personally, I've been staying busy, doing some of my personal business and trying to wrap up this estate situation, which is like me dealing with a foreign language I know nothing about, but I'm making it through that. And then let's see. Oh yeah, someone's living in my house now. Oh yeah. So Shelly and I are doing some exploration I'll leave it at there right now, and we'll keep posted on that until Did you want to chime in on that? Shelley?
It's not my turn to speak yet.
I'm complete.
Am I going next? Well, we're not. Let's put it this way: we're not applicants for Glenn and Marion's call yet. But I'm not good with bandwidth. Very cute. But I feel really, I just feel really grateful. I feel like, when you trust the field and we're holding each other in that space of, since we're here, sitting here, when we're holding that space of being in resonance and really trusting that letting go and surrendering ideas and beliefs and allowing things to dissolve so what really needs to happen can happen, then we end up in this place. And I feel like that's the exploration, is being in that place. So it's been, I've been here for 10 days. I still have my mountain house, but I haven't gone up there. So it's been a true joy to be here. And it just feels very heartwarming. And there's a lot of love. So keep letting it open. And honestly, what better place to unfold it here with you, all of you. So hold us in your heart, and for the living for the good of the whole. That's really what it's about. So that's what I'll add right now. So in terms of my check-in, I just want to say that I just got off the phone with Marianne Bowie, who is, she's been someone who I've been connected to in Florida, and in this sort of trying to figure out fundraising and understanding what we can do. As like Julie and I have talked, it's been quite, as you all know, none of us are real fundraisers or understand it. And, she was just a next step of possibly discovering more. She's worked with nonprofits. She understands fundraising. She's a salt of the earth kind of person. And so I have a call with her at 8:00 tonight to talk about it. And maybe she's the right person to come in for a couple of months and help us get this ball rolling. I don't have any idea, but I will let you know. And, we're really trying to call in this, numerous types of people, but basically at least somebody who can help us get this road, get this ball rolling a little bit. So anyway, that much. And as far as the connection field, as tough as there have been really tough moments and even a couple of breakdown moments, because I'm on 12 hours a day without even question, and have I've got a lineup of people to call and volunteers even to call, and every one of those people that are in the digest I've talked to and had to give them a real transmission of the connection field. But the most beautiful piece in terms of the optimism and the love and the connection is that every single one of those people that are really in, and they really get it. They're not just coming in thinking they're just doing their thing. They're part of the whole. And if they don't totally get it, like Julie and I were talking about Connie Baxter as an example, who's all about marketing herself. Like we've seen it and like, oh shit, she wants to come in and host. But we've seen in the past week or 10 days, I mean, this woman is changing. She is opening to the resonant field. She is becoming a team player. She loves it. She wants more of it. So, I mean, what'll happen on her call, I have no idea. She's invited Wowza to be a part of that. But I do feel there's this, like this, in a sense, it's a creative tension. It's the letting go, allowing people to be their voice, but also tempering it with, making sure that they really understand or have a sense of this resonance, inviting them in to be more So I think she's just a really good example of someone who didn't even have a penny to give to the mentoring stewards, did not want to donate anything, was willing to offer, oh, well, you need me for an hour. Well, yeah, has really completely shifted into, she even became a mentoring steward last week. So I kind of feel like this is the field, and you know, to even the indigenous grandmothers of Europe who before, you know, were spoken to, were afraid of social media, didn't want to go so Facebook Live, didn't want to, you know, they wanted to hold their little container. And but by the time we were done talking on one call, they were like all in, and they're having an amazing experience. And then they told me, what happened? We wanted to go Facebook Live. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me, you know, like really? So I kind of feel like, you know, this is the role that Good of the Whole is playing. You know, we're holding open. I mean, I can't even tell you, you know, and yeah, it's taking a lot, because each one of these people that are coming in, and it's not so much, oh, we're involved with the indigenous community, but we are a portal. We are, you know, this is the, you know, in a sense, Julie and I know Julie's going to talk about this global transition team. This is who we be. We're holding this opportunity for these ones that have been living in their, you know, and I have to give a little credit, Don Pett this morning, you know, he talked about, he was, oh, I was waiting for the advertisement, you know, and it actually didn't totally come, but he really talked about it from the essence of the quality of, you know, tribal love to really, he was the one who said this morning, I even wrote it down, directing our love to the greater whole. He was getting it, you know, so to me, this is the magic and miracle. And we have like those people that are coming in, Chief Daryl, Bob and Teresa and Uncle Raul and Bernard, who's coming in from Switzerland or wherever he is, and they've been really used to having their own portal, you know, and they want to play, you know, once they get it, and they need that transmission. People don't get it without that transmission. And you know, I just feel like this is the beauty of you know, and Melina, you know, I blew her off twice, like twice, at least twice, if not 3 times, because that Monday morning comes along and I forget about that 5 a.m. slot. But she's like, oh my God, look what is being created here. And I want to play, and I want to help, and I'll help you host, and I'll help you open. These are the things that are happening. And so that's, you know, what I want to say. Yeah, it's a challenge, and it's hard, and it's not easy for Julie and I with the digest, and there are mistakes being made, and people aren't being yet called back. And but with all of it, there is this, I feel like that place that Linda was describing, you know, that place of that silent om, you know, that silent frequency of where you just feel that sense of reciprocity of the field itself saying, thank you for holding this, thank you. You know, yeah, things aren't perfect and you don't have the money yet, but you're holding something that I in my world have not seen anywhere. So I really appreciate each one of you, and as Julie was asking me, more appreciation going to the hosts, and more appreciation going to the mentoring stewards, because we couldn't be doing it without them, and each one of you. And so yeah, it's a lot, there's no question. But if we can just keep supporting each other, and also being honest, you know, no, but yeah, there's moments where I just want to go, fuck this, I can't, I'm not doing it, no more. But I'm learning how to say no in the appropriate places. Like, I'm learning how to give it over. You know, this is all learning, and I'm grateful for the yeses. So thank you all, and it's really magical. And Julie will add in the piece that even happened just a half hour ago with, you know, there was a lot of creative tension between Julie and I, like, you know, not so much as a personal piece, but more like, I'm frustrated and this, you know, but out of that crisis came this really beautiful thing that happened just a half hour ago, you know. And I feel like something, if we just can hold that consciousness about how evolution happens, that things get really tight and challenging, and there's reactions, and then all of a sudden that greater thing happens where that little sprout bursts out of the cement, you know, in New York City, you know, and that's what if we can keep our eyes on that optimistic place. So with that, I'm complete, and thank you all so much from the bottom of my heart. And I pass it over to you, Julie.
Thank you. That was beautiful. Looking over at the connection field, I also want to just acknowledge even Kate has grown so much with the connection field. It's amazing to just be in witness of this. So I also just wanted to piggyback on that, and where Linda's saying we're being contagious, and Linda and John playing with that nonverbal is, I'm also watching hosts speaking our language now. Like any given host can sound like Shelley and can sound like Julie and can sound, it's like when I turn that on and they're starting to use that collective language from the field that we've been holding for 8 years. So it's really cool how people are really getting it. There's like, it's clunking, it's like clunked into gear, and now it's moving in that field. So that's beautiful. I'll just say several things in a check-in, kind of like a report of some things that are moving out in the bigger world. One is, now is the time for us. Imagine this. How many weeks has it been? 6? How many weeks are we on? 5? 6? Week 5? We'll have to go look.
5 or 6. Today's Monday.
In 5 or 6 weeks, and all of these offerings are here, and all these people are coming in, and we have not reached out once and asked someone outside of our own circle to help. Like the field has brought Chief Phil in, and then Chief Phil has brought these people in, and we've grown exponentially by becoming that attractor field, and we haven't once reached out. But now is the time. We're going to send a letter out, an email out to all of our co-creative partners, sister organizations, people that we know, and invite them into, number one, support it by sending these out to your communities so that your community can come onto the connection field and connect. And 2, do you want to host an hour? Do you want to volunteer? Do you want to do? So we're bringing more organizations in, more larger organizations into the playing field now. So that will be happening real soon, in a day or 2. So that's exciting. And just to recap, Unity Week is coming up in June. Do you remember the dates exactly, Shell, without me looking?
Yeah, I do. The 20th to the 27th.
Unity Week, June 20th through the 27th. We are asked to play a bigger part in that. And so they want to know, how can they weave Good of the Whole into Unity Week? And so Ben and I are going to meet again in the near future and look at what that looks like. There's also, I mentioned on another call that I think is really exciting, is that we also get to be a part of this incredible initiative of the World Water Law and having that roll out. And that is really exquisite. I know Shelley's seen it. Glenn, Linda, John, have you seen the World Water Law? Have you seen a draft of the World Water Law? Okay, I'll share that with you so that you could see it. Shelley, you've seen it, haven't you?
Yeah, I just thought they were asking because they're creating it. I mean, it's not complete at this point.
No, it's in its draft, and it's, yeah. I just want to show them what's going to be rolling out in 2021, so you know what we're working on, and how, again, when we think about what we've created here, and then imagine the ripples out on the planet that will be happening as we're moving forward with all these beautiful things that are unfolding. So that's that. Gil Agnew has become a mentoring steward who hopefully will join us Wednesday. And he is the co-founder of Whole Worldview with Jude Currivan. And Jude is busy writing her book, and Gil is all in. And I just want to report that Gil is really focused. Gil and I have been meeting a lot to do that media piece, to look at the communications in the media and the outward communications that are going out to the world. We've worked on conceptualizing different community service projects, other communications that are going out. This is what I was going to tell Shelley, and I forgot. And I said, I got to tell you about Gil, and then I forgot to tell you. But Gil is so activated right now to work with the arts. It's incredible. And he has this vision. And his vision is very, it takes the artist in resonance program that we've envisioned here at Good of the Whole even to a whole new level, because he's really looking at getting the top performing artists on board, the top filmmakers on board, the top, like he's really going gung-ho and has tons of connections. So Gil is extremely connected. So it'll be really fun to watch him come in and perhaps activate some other pieces of the whole through communications and arts and media, and working on that, which is exciting to me because that's my love and that's my forte. And then before I'm going to open it up to a couple things. I'm just going to say then what Shelley was talking about with the global transition team is it was feeling like we had to create the global transition team out here somewhere, and we've got this going on. So my creative tension was saying, do we just stop and focus on the connection field that's really moving right now, or what do we do? And I don't want to stop, but do we need to just pause and let this organic thing happen? And Shelley and I, as we worked through that, it was like, bring that global transition team in, and Shelley suggested it as a beta test within the connection field, inviting a pay-for program, a program that you pay for, that training that we talked about it at our retreat. It was the evolutionary core, it's the global transition team, it's the same thing. And offering it as a beta test to our hosts and our mentoring stewards and others. And so it feels in this moment, I need to sit with this for a while and see how it wants to land inside of this, but to bring it into the connection field, perhaps, and maybe it's not on the connection field that's all free right now, but to bring it into the fold of these communications. And with that, it would be really easy to launch it in June for Unity Week. It'd be really easy to have that available and to begin talking about the global transition team and really training global transition specialists. And what we're watching, and I'd love your feedback on all this, what we're watching is, just like you're saying, is the people who are coming to the connection field are activated. And some of them are going to be space holders that are simply activated to be these beautiful hosts and space holders, and others want to go do more out in the world. And so, yeah, we're sitting with that and what that might look like. I'm going to pause and let you guys jump in here. And then I just have two more things, and we can talk about these other two things on the agenda. If you have any questions about any of that before I talk about a few other things.
Yeah, I do actually. So I'm very interested in the global transition team. I'll just use myself as an example. If I was to take this course, I'm assuming it's a course, and become a global specialist, then what do I do with that?
That's a good question. And do you remember reading the document? Anybody remember reading through the document?
Sort of.
In
It's been a
June?
while.
Yeah, or it was October, wasn't it? Literally, it's designed much like the Peace Corps, so that you're getting this amazing education from some of the best people on the planet that are, and I shouldn't say the best people on the planet, that's not true. Everybody's the best people on the planet. We got 7 billion best people. Some of the world's leading thought leaders on the planet, some of the cream of the crop. And hopefully this training will equip you to go out and take the extension of your work and your focus in the world to a much broader level, to a much more global level of understanding whole systems health, a whole worldview, and living for the good of the whole. So those three pieces that are the core of who we are, living for the good of the whole. I showed you that diagram before. So you will get education within that and feel equipped to go out and expand into the next evolution of who you are on the planet and what you're doing. So we can't obviously guarantee people that, oh, you can go create a job, or you could become a coach, or you could teach the teachers or lead the leaders, but you could certainly co-create anything. The sky's the limit. So the program's designed, and I can get it back out and share it with you again, but the program's designed literally much like the Peace Corps, where you're going out and serving. So we're going to ask people to, number one, serve in their own communities, like volunteer serve, like how can you bring this to your local community? And then what is it that's calling you forward to make a difference in the world? So like the Peace Corps, you sign up and you go over and you're working in Nicaragua, helping dig wells and get clean water for this many months to a year or two, whatever it is. It's designed with a lot of that in. So instead of taking a lot of time with it, today I'll share the documents again and the core of the nucleus of what's there, and then we can perhaps spend some time on a call next week or the following to really flesh it out if you guys see something and want that to be, want to look at it in a different way. But does that help, John? And then Shelley wants to jump in.
I just want to add something that you aren't talking about, which I think is one of the most essential pieces of being a part of that global transition team. It's not just about, in fact, it's not just about, oh, you can go out and you can do whatever you want. It's really what we're holding here is how to create collective coherence through resonance. That we're moving out of this I, me, mine consciousness of like, oh, you can go do that. It's like the joy, like what's missing in at least in the conversation that you just said was like the joy of what has been described here inside of the connection field, this how to create that as a global transition specialist. You have the capacity to know how to create a group that knows how to work together, that that you can create community coherence. To me, that's what people are looking for. It's not just to be a leader out there, because they can go get all these other trainings, but so that those pieces of, like you said, the whole systems health and living for the good of the whole and a whole world view is the essential, and or at least part of the cake is that they have the capacity to be able to hold a resonant space so that they can create their own teams, their own circles, their own local community. I don't know. So I just felt like that needs to be,
because what Shelley's talking about, that at the core, the nucleus of the whole training is the experience of wholeness right here in the middle. And so then this is now engage, not because we're all evolving the ethos. So this is engage. So we have you have the experience of wholeness, and then you embody, experience, and engage in that. So you are, and with that, perhaps this is another thing that's on my agenda to bring out, which I think is an important part as I'm thinking fundraising and receiving that reciprocity from the universe right now. One piece of that, and I have several more I want to bring up, is perhaps creating a global, a local circle franchise type structure, whereas we could teach people how to create local coherence. That's a part of the global transition team, but it's also like people are seeing this online, and then how can you go create that experience that you're all feeling and in your local community once we're beyond this pandemic? So do we want to create, what does a local good of the whole organization look like? And is there a fee to that? Is there a gifting back? URI, United Religions Initiative, you can create a cooperation circle, and then the cooperation circles are giving back to the whole. So they give something, like if they're doing a fundraiser, if they're doing whatever, they give a part of it or all of it back to United Religions Initiative. So it could be based like that. Like we create, what does it look like? What is the name of a local circle? But John, you can have Good of the Whole Boulder, and Glenn can have Good of the Whole Kauai, and Linda could have Good of the Whole. Yes, go ahead.
Well, I mean, it's interesting you're saying all that. Why not have, let's just say, 3 mentoring stewards that are highly qualified to be teachers, to be trainers, to get really grounded and self-sufficient in this global transition team, and become the Good of the Whole global transition team that then for a fee go to, instead of my thing in Boulder or Linda's in Indiana, it's the Good of the Whole global transition team that is mobile and can go to different communities and teach and set up these programs. So it would all, maybe, I'm just throwing this out as the Good of the Whole global transition team doing business as that, under Good of the Whole. And therefore, if it was really successful, I mean, can you imagine the price that people charge for that type of service? Holy mackerel. And that means that, let's just say we have a 3-person team. That 3-person team could be earning some nice money, and Good of the Whole could be making quite a bit of money off of it. And I'd have to believe that there's not a community in the world that is progressive that, if it's presented properly, I mean, I could see city governments, I could see, businesses, a lot of different organizations that would go, hey, we're ready for this now, especially on the heels of this virus thing. So just
Yeah,
a thought.
that's exactly what I'm talking about. It's exactly what I'm talking about. And literally activating local communities to live for the good of the whole. And so that they become a branch or or whatever that would be, or we have a different name, Good of the Whole Local, or we create that program that, but also, so that's a community. And then there's consultants that can go into organizations, because you got to believe that many of these super huge mega corporations are going to have to learn how to live for the good of the whole. And they're going to be shifting and I mean, this is the time on the planet. They are literally going to be transforming, and we need consultants that can go into these large organizations and teach the same thing. Create the field, understand resonance, understand this. And so what does it look like at 3M? What does it look like for you to begin to create whole systems health within your organization? And what does it look like for you to create the culture where everyone is understanding a whole worldview, where they begin to understand it? And how does the workplace change when individuals in all those cubicles learn how to live for the good of the whole? So this becomes the template for the global transition team, but it also becomes the template for Good of the Whole Local, Good of the Whole Consults. I do think we have a team that's who we're training and why.
Can you send us those two JPEGs, Julie?
This one? What's the other one?
I think there were 2 of them that you have on the website.
Oh yeah, I could do that.
I think that would be really good for each of us to have. Thanks.
So I have John, are you complete?
No, I'm complete for now, Linda, except for I'm thinking, Julie, you're talking about 3M, and, I used to do team building, conflict resolution for 3M. I did a lot of banks. Banks are excellent for this type of thing, lending institutions, but also small progressive companies like here in Boulder, Crocs, okay, who have undergone social conflict within their organization. Instead of doing, this is an upgrade from team building. Everybody does team building we're raising the frequency on that, and I think it is time. So businesses large and small, city governments. I used to have a contract. I did the team building conflict resolution for the city of Columbia, Missouri. Had a contract with them. Small local governments, I think it'd be killer.
Yeah.
Okay, Linda, I'm complete.
Amen, brother.
So this all sounds very exciting, and I'm getting back to the basics. Who is teaching this initial how to be a global transition specialist?
Myself and a lot of guests.
I also think I think it's also the advisory council. Honestly, I mean, it's the experience you're already having. I mean, I wouldn't, I mean, I think that it's not just, I think it's the advisory council, because we have that vision of the whole, and we have our individual pieces that can be brought in. I think it's really important that it's not just someone outside of good of the whole. It's someone who understands wholeness without question. Jude Caravan and obviously some of these other people that we brought in for the retreat. But I don't want to exclude that, Julie. You know,
I just said a lot of guests. That didn't mean that it's not you guys. Of course you're a part of that.
No, I know, but I just wanted to address Linda, that it is you. That's, for me, that's what I want to say. It's you. You're going to teach a part of that. John's going to teach a part of it. Like, this is that piece that he, you know, as soon as it drops in and we, you know, we're really understanding, we're already living that diagram. The diagram came out because we're already doing that. We're living that. And it became, you know, it's like all of a sudden, you know, or maybe for Julie it was a visual, but we're already doing that. We're holding that wholeness. Glenn is holding that wholeness. So, you know, I don't necessarily think it's going to be every mentoring steward, especially the newer ones, you know, and probably a few. They have to go through it first. This is how this is originally went through. They've got to agree to coming in.
I don't think it will be a mentoring stewards at this point. I think it will be the advisory council and Jude Caravan. And, like, you know, think about, like, I mean, I'm thinking of look at what happened at the retreat that everybody loved. And we just pulled in a few people and they loved it. You know, Shelley O's on there, Gil and Jude were on there, Alexander Laszlo was on there. These are people that really hold the mimetic coding of the whole, not others who are trying to figure it out. And just like you, Linda, it's kind of like what I'm hearing people say, which every week is the joy in this, even though I'm tired too. I'm really tired of working my 12 and 14-hour days. But the joy is when people go, oh, I get it now. You've been saying this for I really get it. Or people on the call using the language, you know, it's like, it's happening through us. But I don't see that the mentoring stewards could take the course. Grace would be one. She's signed me up. She was ready to go in October. And then she could come in and perhaps teach in round 2 or round 3 or round 4. But in the core curriculum, I don't see it being the mentoring stewards at this point. There's no one on there that I would say would have that core right now that I would pull in to be that expert.
So whatever was handed out at the retreat as far as the curriculum, can you refresh that for us and send it to us?
Yes.
Will you forgive me, Julie? Hold on one second. Can you go look over and see if Grace is on that call, please?
No, she's not. Ken is on.
Okay, but Grace would be coming in for the Monday.
4 o'clock? True.
Sorry, I all of a sudden looked at the time and went, okay.
Oh, she just popped on.
Okay, so hold on, just wait 1 second. Let me just check something here. So there's a break for an hour, and then the trust. So sorry, I just want to make sure that we're on target here. So there's a break for an hour, and then the trust frequency goes on, and then John, you go on with the Men in Connection. So sorry, that's it. I just wanted to make sure.
Do you need me to check in with her with anything? See if she needs anything, or just let it go? She knows how to do it. She's
And who's on there now? Just a couple people.
Vijay, Rock and Robin, a phone that I don't know, Kate, Ken, and Carl.
Okay.
Wow, they've been on all day.
Yeah, Carl's
So
on there.
I'm just wondering whether, and how much longer are we going? We got on at,
We got on at 3, so we have at least 30 more minutes.
well, I'm just wondering if, like, I should go in and support the vision of the Global Heart Team, because, I mean, I'm sure people don't, I don't know, what do you think? Or just let Grace do whatever she's doing?
We could. No one else is popping in right now for that, but maybe there will be separate people.
It's almost more like a support for Grace, where there was this sort of transition that nobody really understood.
I actually think that's a good thing to do. It's building trust in that field that someone is going to be there for someone.
Right,
And if
and
you
to
feel
go
you
into
need to be there for
our
Grace.
vision of the Global Heart Team, and have her not. Okay, I'm going to pop
Yeah.
over there, and if it seems like it's going over good, I'll just pop back in. So that's
Okay, I'm going to talk about a couple of other fundraising ideas.
And I've got some things for the agenda too. I think one of the things we want to maintain is that remember that we really have to focus on the business of this organism. And I see us, we tend to get kind of buried up in the weeds of doing specific little things that are important, but there's this overall gestalt that we've got to hold on to. It's expanding like crazy. And so our tendency may be to go and take care of a little detail someplace, but somehow we've got to, in this advisory council, we've got to step up above all of that. Just
okay. I'm going to
my
stay
perspective.
here, let Grace do her thing, and we'll clear it up later.
You're gonna stay here? Okay. So Glenn, how much time do you need today?
You want to talk about the store? We want to talk about update on the housing, and I've got a piece on our. I'll probably got 10 or 15 minutes.
Okay. So the rest of everything is basically, well, besides the housing thing, is fundraising. John is, John's not frozen. He's just daydreaming. I thought you were frozen looking up like that, John.
No, I was taking in everything here, and I was just letting my focus go out to my trees, going, Glenn's absolutely right. And what is it that's gonna bring in funds? And so anyway, I was here. I was just out there being here.
Yeah, and so even like the details of, yes, I'll get you the global transition team. Yes, that will bring in funds. That's a part of our vision. That's a part of the, and we don't all need to get into the details of it. You know, it's like we all have to be doing what's ours to do, and that's an important piece. So Glenn, we will do that in a second. I just want to talk about one piece, which is setting fees. Number one, do we want to raise the mentoring steward fee from $15? And if so, to what? And then how much do we want to suggest that organizations as a co-creative partner, if they join and want to be a co-creative partner with us, and I'm not saying bring my project in to go to the whole, but those that we're working with on a lot of projects, what would we want to charge an organization that wants to come in and like a mentoring steward and eventually like the global transition team? What would be that minimum number that we would want to put on our website? Because right now we don't have a minimum number for organizations. And what do we want to charge mentoring stewards? So what does the field want?
I kind of feel like the $15 fee for the mentoring stewards is okay. The question I guess I have is a revamp or just a whole nother look at donor levels. And that I'm thinking that many organizations do have multiple levels of donor participation. And how is it we might structure something that makes sense around that? But again, I'm I'm no expert at all in the fundraising structures that some other people might have. But it seems like we don't have enough, or we could have on our website, we could have more opportunities for people to be, I don't know, some kind of tiered donor level that might come with
Increasing the
certain
benefits, much like Patreon.
benefits. Yeah,
A lot of
something.
people, the idea of Patreon is wonderful. You have different levels, and for each level, you get a new benefit as you go up. And a lot of people have had really good success, and a lot of people have bombed with Patreon. But we could bring that in-house and say, what could we offer just a couple more levels up before that organizational level? What could that be that they would get a benefit from besides you get your good of the whole mug, or you get, we could do something simple like that. So perhaps we think of that as a donor level, that once you give this amount, you get an added benefit. And if you give this amount, you get an added benefit. We used to have it that way.
Yeah, and
Personally.
I have no idea what that structure ought to look like, but it seems like it's something like that. And that the basic benefit, the basic member level is 15. I'm not sure that that's appropriate for the mentoring stewards that are going to come on and be hosts, but
Can I say
it seems
something?
like that's okay too.
I think this is why, like, why do we, I mean, we've kind of like gone through this, and really none of us have that really whole world view on this. And I would just say, I mean, the first step that I'd see right now is talking to Mary Bowie, someone who is like, really has a wider view. This is too narrow. It's too narrow. Like, let's just add benefits. What are the, we're back to that old benefit conversation, and without having the larger picture of how you can create a go for the good of the whole, the organism. And let's just,
well, I do think it's all of the above. I think that this is an important piece. We have it on our website. We have mentoring stewards coming in. People do give more than $15. And so I think it needs to be a part of that conversation. If nobody, I think we can ask the field and we can come up with it ourselves. But if you want to wait till after Mary, that's fine. I think it's just another piece.
well, okay, well then, I mean, if I was to add my part of it, I think that it's very tricky because we have people that are new that just came in at $15. All of a sudden you're going to go, it's $25. Now, how do you grandfather in or grandmother in, or, grandfather in, but say, hey, if you can give more, this would, again, going back to this, what our needs are. So I don't, I don't have a problem with asking $25, I don't think, or whatever. But I also think we are still building this creative functioning that anywhere between $15 or $25, and it really can be, people can do, but I don't know.
I have 2 cents to throw in. And that is, it is increasingly evident that being a mentoring steward is a privilege and an honor, and has tremendous benefit for those that are willing to bring themselves fully into the fold. It's worth at least $25 a month. Just think of the experience someone gets by hosting an hour on this, on our website. Holy crap. You become a holder of the field that then can be applied anywhere in the world under any circumstances, in your family or whatever. If you have a job, the confidence that comes from being in that position for $25 a month, it's a great, 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 great value. And I think that for those that can't afford $25, have them come talk to us and say, yeah, okay, we understand that. But for anyone that is, especially as we're expanding here and the energy field is building the way it is, where else in the world are they going to get this kind of experience for $25 a month? It's just not going to happen.
I tend to agree with
Comment
you.
on that one. There you go.
And I think, if I'm right, last week was the first time you started doing the breakout rooms. And if we are restructuring the Mentoring Stewards program to be a really training and expanding personal, kind of a personal development program,
Exactly.
then we've got more oomph than what we've previously had prior. And so defining that and making that Mentoring Stewards program is it's preparation for hosting, it's preparation for facilitating, it's there's a couple of 4 or 5 benefits that happen as a mentoring steward that we're now preparing people for, or we're preparing people for a role. And if we define that, clarify that in a way that people will say, oh, if I'm going to be a mentoring steward, I'm entering a program.
Yes.
Now, prepare myself to do these things. I don't feel like we've had that prior to, in the same way maybe that it's beginning to express itself now. So if we say that, then $25 I think is a reasonable thing. Prior to this, I'm not sure that we had that much value there, but certainly we're enhancing the value of that program, so it becomes a piece of the training for the whole that we're working on. So
I totally agree, Glenn. And also another thing is, what's it take to do a specialty program? You have to be a steward. And so that if you have specific gifts and talents that can be sanctioned and coordinated with the resident field through good of the whole, you have the opportunity for an initial $25 a month to bring your specific piece in for the good of the whole through being able to offer a specialty program, which could then be developed into, as we already are seeing, into a paying program that can come out of that, even all the way up to being a DBA of good of the whole. So this is for $25 initiation, really the sky is it's unlimited, especially as we lay it out.
Absolutely. It's less than $1 a day.
Yeah.
These people are coming on for hours and hours and hours and hours.
Yes.
For a whole day, $1 a day.
Yeah.
Less than that for $25 a month.
I spend more than that on ice cream. I mean, come on.
Right. And the value of what they get in the connection field doesn't add any calories on you either. So.
Okay, you guys have totally just convinced me, and I think it's easy to just say to people, even starting Wednesday, because I think you're right. I think the connection field has added a huge amount of value to people's lives, and
Huge.
I hadn't really been thinking about that in terms of what's happening. People are getting, more confident. People are feeling excited. They're expanding their field of their sphere of influence.
it sort of comes with a rewrite of what it means to be a mentoring steward and what that program is now. But I don't think that's a very hard thing to do. I mean, Julie can probably whip that out in 30
Glenn,
minutes.
you're not allowed to do that here. Good try. Sorry. You could just rewrite that. Thank you. That would be awesome.
I would work with somebody.
We'll take that little
that.
skeleton and we'll refine it. But this is like, take your ownership. That idea that just popped through you. Help us do it. I just rewrote the hosting document.
The mentoring stewards, I don't have a history with the mentoring stewards other than popping into a few times that, but I guess I could initiate an initial description of some sort and you can build on it, whatever.
Do we have a mentoring steward document?
It's just on the website. There's a website page, and then there's the membership page that has a brief description. We created it in our advisory council several years ago.
I'd be glad to look at that.
Yeah, maybe I would be a good person to start it off since I don't have the history of it, and maybe that's a fresh look at what it might be.
Yeah, I mean, you can just pull off what's on the website, put it into a Word doc, add your pieces, and we're building a document for mentoring stewards. That's how it works.
We have a start.
John can help you, and then you can.
I'll throw in
Pass
some
it over.
verbiage in it.
We'll take the
Well, I
skeleton.
think you guys have the experience of it coming into it, and that would be good. And Glenn, you did have a part in writing it, because I remember distinctly
I did.
we rewrote it, and you and Marion, and you brought in the engagement. The benefit for the free part is the engagement, and you can offer in da 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 da. And I remember you bringing in that part, so you did help. And yes, Linda, were you raising your hand?
No, I was not raising my hand,
Oh, I thought you were.
but I'm happy to help Glenn, John,
Okay, well, I'll do a first draft. And you
Wonderful.
guys can, edit away.
Well, and so everybody be thinking of language of the benefits, like what is your experience and what are your benefits? And then we can integrate that into the master document. So then the other piece that I was going to say before we go to the store and the housing, I want to give you your 15 minutes, Glenn, is we talked about when the connection field first began, we talked about it being a membership drive, like a telethon, like a telethon that's on the TV. And we've also talked about other, having a gala fundraising event way back. If you remember in the fall, we talked about that, John. And I want us to just think, and we don't have to go into this now, but be thinking about, we could literally create a really fun, creative online event that's a fundraising event. I mean, if late night TV can go from their home and have a fun logo and a branding and doing stuff from home, and people are having, I'm talking about a virtual book tour, and a few people have given me ideas of, oh, it would be really cool for you to do this and have, bookstores hosting over here, and and it's like, so let's think about that. What would a gala event online be like? If we were raising money for Pachamama pajamas, we could have a pajama party online, and you come on, and then there would be, we could literally have a silent auction online. We can have a live auction online. We could, who knows? There's lots of ideas that we could.
Live music. I mean, we could definitely have entertainers come in. I know a great comedian that could put on a piece, that he's socially conscious. There are a lot of different things that could be done like that.
So think about that, and let's start making a list. Because if it was an online event, we could even build it into the connection field somehow if we wanted to. That on this day, at these times, and using these hours. But see, I love that. Live music. People are doing live concerts from their home. Live comedian. I haven't seen a comedian do stand-up comedy, but that would be really cool from your home. So what would it be like if we did a live event? And what kind of things could we all, give into that? Like, who knows what it could look like? Okay. Which could include the membership drive, where we're inviting people to come in for $25 a pop. So imagine this, you guys, 200 mentoring stewards paying $25. We could definitely hire an administrative assistant. Now, that's not paying people who are working, but it would be someone who's doing administrative work. It would really help a lot. So we can do this. And I don't know what Marie, is that her name, Shelley? Marie? Your friend?
Sorry. What do you ask me?
What's her name? Marie, the fundraiser?
No, Mary Bowie.
Mary Bowie. Mary may give us a different direction. I do know if we hire my local fundraiser to do local fundraising, which he could, then I just need to spend time creating documents, because he needs to have a really nice folder to go out and give it to in front of big donors and say, here's what they're doing, and here's why you want to help, and here's the story. And we just need to pull all that together and print out really nice materials, which we probably need to do before Ohana Legacy Foundation gets going. And and others. So, okay, so we'll learn more from Mary tonight. Did you want to add, Shel?
I was going to say, I think that she will be interested in. I mean, she has something called the Jericho Project, which is building homes in. I actually can't even really talk about it, but I think that she'll be interested in what Glenn is doing as well. And but she's done all kinds of fundraising. They just did a fundraising for the Jericho Project. So yeah, I don't know. See.
Okay.
But I like the idea of creating one day as a. I mean, for me, it feels like a lot like when we did Hearts Across the World and 24-hour. It wasn't done with money, but people loved it and had an amazing experience. And everyone gave something to that day, and it created just a wonderful day. And so I think that, and we already have, just as the connection bill is building. I mean, Pato and Antoinette are coming in on tomorrow night, and there's plenty of music, and yeah, I think it's a good idea. But plan it for. I mean, I mean, you're going to need those documents anyway for any of this, and plan it for whatever, September, or maybe it's part of our October retreat, kind of, or something. I don't know, but.
Oh, I'm thinking way sooner than that.
Well, I mean, yeah, and it needs to be, but it has to be given visibility. You can't just put it out next week or.
Right.
I mean, yeah, September or June, July. I don't know, whatever.
Have you guys ever watched the PBS? They put on these programs and they have these different donation levels. For $25, you get these CDs and a book. $50 or $100, you get expanded, and then they have like a grand prize, like a fully expense paid trip to Glenn and Marianne Head's house in Kauai for donations of $10,000 or whatever. I'm just making that up, but I mean that's an ongoing thing over the full life of the gala. And they always report back, oh, we've gotten in blah 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 blah, and here send these out, and we look at all the people we already have that have books. Not only you, Julie, but now Marianne's book, and Connie and what's the name's book, Linda's books. We have a lot of materials that we could kind of like raffle off or use as a momentum for donations. Anyway, I'll keep thinking of stuff.
Okay, perfect. Which leads me to Glenn talking about the store and then the Ohana. So Glenn, it's all yours. The floor is yours.
All right. Well, I see us having multiple streams of income. So donations is one. Another one is a store. And so the idea here is that we've got a lot of assets in our community now of books and courses, and the idea emerged that there's a guy I know in Boulder, that Daniel Harburger. If you've met Daniel, John, I don't know if you might have, but he has a store that I really would like to share with you. So I'm going to bring up a share screen. And Daniel Harburger. Can you see this? Can you guys see this?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is his website, Wonderful Things. And he's got these categories across the top, and then this is something that's special that he's doing today is this pop out, what all he's got here. He's got different things going here, but he's built this website, he and his girlfriend, who's soon to be his wife. And then you scroll down and you just see all these wonderful things that he's curated. Now, can you see the, why we curated Amazon? I'd like a little different type here. But you can see that he's got thousands of products here. And as I understand, he's generating about $500,000 in sales a month with these products.
Who's sending them out, Glenn?
He is.
Is he curating through Amazon, or is he has this?
He's curating through, everything goes through Amazon. He doesn't, no inventory, nothing.
Oh.
He gets a percentage of everything that's sold. And it just goes on and on and on. And there's a little story here, like if I go about home, let's look at about, actually. I'll go, can you see this when I change screens?
Yes.
Okay.
I,
So
you know,
here's,
Glenn, I just want to say I really like the cleanliness of this website. It's really easy to look at and it's really clean. I just want to.
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And so here he's made an introduction, which is pretty clean and cure. We were talking about curating products for the good of the whole. And then he's got this, how it works. We find the best sustainably, ethically or American-made brands. Double check their ingredients and materials. Organize. Discover your favorites. He's got his own checkout cart. And heads up, Wonderful Things promotes purposeful products and inspired living, but we don't ship anything. The orders are fulfilled and shipped by Amazon. And it's Daniel and his girlfriend. And so, then he's got this certifications index, which I think is important. So sustainably. Now we would have our own certifications of what we would be looking for. And so I could see us having a store like this. Not exactly the same, of course, but with our branding and with our languaging and products for the good of the whole, and not just Amazon products, but then we, of course, Amazon carries all the books that everybody has. So that's an easy place to have books taken care of. And, Julie and Marion would, the authors earn their royalties and we'll earn a percentage of the sale. It might not be very much, might be 6%, might be 5%, might be 10%. But then we could also have a category of courses or workshops, that sort of thing. So this is sort of where my thinking's going on the store, that we need to have, all we do at the top of one of our links is we have, our store. And then that goes to a page or a series of pages like this that have, products for the good of the whole, So goods for the good of the whole. Anyway, that's what I'm thinking about in terms of a store.
Love it.
Okay, any questions? I can stop this share, but you can all go to wonderfulthings.com and see what he's done. That's really builds on all the Amazon affiliate links, I think is all really he's put in here. And it's pretty cool, but I can of course learn more about this. So I'll stop this share now.
I just realized I have one thing to bring to the agenda really quickly when we're done with this, or.
Okay, the thing about the Amazon affiliate is when you sign up as an Amazon affiliate, if they click on it once and they buy 3 or 4 other things, you get credit on all of it. So you have this nice bamboo hand lotion and you click on it and you buy a new coffee machine and a new shirt and you get a commission off of all of the sale, the whole sale. Anybody comes through that portal, we get credit for it.
And we're already Amazon affiliates, right, Julie? As good as the whole.
Right.
So we already have that affiliate account. All we've really got to do is.
How do we have a good of the whole affiliate for?
We've had it for a long time with the blog, when we would literally in the early days when we did the blog, you'd highlight the book that you're talking about or a reference point, and it would point it back to Amazon. And we've never really nobody's ever clicked through. We just haven't had the traffic. So in fact, we might have to reopen it. I'll have to go in and look and see. You have to have so much activity or it goes inactive. But yeah, we used to do it in the blog when we were curating the blog more often, when it was coming out more. And then we would hyperlink them to Amazon so that if people click through, they'd go to our affiliate account.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very
So I see this as having a huge cash flow stream to us as it's kind of a chicken and an egg. Do we have the people coming through us to justify having something like this? And then do we have this, do you want to put the social media action into play so that people are drawn to goods for the whole? And so figuring all that out and making that work. But if we can draw people through our portal, which is expanding like crazy with what we're doing with the connection field, we've got a new energizing structure here to support people in things that they normally need anyway.
Well, don't forget, there has to be someone that has to watch over this.
And there's got to be that's right, there's got to be a little team that comes, that makes this happen. So this becomes an initiative that
I think
needs
it would be amazing to get a young millennial to do it. I think we need to expand our team into some millennials.
I agree.
Right. So there's that piece. Then the next thing I want to bring up is that through my network, our network marketing company, Manatech, because we're associates, they just began to offer a link, an asset to Zoom. So one can become an associate in Manatech for, I think, maybe it's $29. I haven't even gone to look because we just haven't done that business in so many years. But it's not expensive. And I signed up for it about a week ago, so I'm experimenting with it. But my Zoom account, by signing up through Manatech in this link, I have the 500-person Zoom account. We're going to have 500 people on with a webinar or with a Zoom thing for $10 a month. Okay, so I don't know what we're paying now at the level that we're at.
Like $60 a month, right, Julie?
So we can cut.
We had to pay more to get in. Yeah.
Okay, so I can make Good of the Whole an affiliate or a distributor in Manatech, and I would donate the $30 or whatever it costs to do that, and then sign Good of the Whole up for this Zoom account. And we'll have the $500 people access point for $10 a month instead of what we're paying now.
Does it stay permanently, no matter what happens with Manatech? We can always have it at that price?
I think so. I think we're there.
What is Manatech beside that? Because
Manatech.
They're making some money off of this.
No, not on this piece. You don't make any money off of that. But if we decide to put any Manatech products in our store, which we would want to curate and make that choice if we did, then we would earn a commission on the people who buy those products. But they're in the wellness product category line, and Manatech is that's a multi-million-dollar company that's been around since 1995. It's got a long history in the world. But part of what we could do in the store as an option for sure is we could become associates. Good of the Whole could become an associate of a number of different multi-level companies and curate the specific products from those companies that we feel like meet our standards. And then we would earn commissions on people who bought those products. And so I know we probably have dozens of our people, and maybe some of you guys too, are part of multi-level companies that you buy a favorite product from, and you could earn a little commission on the sale of that product as it flows through us too. And so
I think also, Glenn, you have to think about what really happens if we were to switch over. What happens to our Good of the Whole account and whatever we have.
That's what I'm experiencing right now. And when I switched over my personal account that I was paying $15 a month for, my professional account in Zoom, I haven't noticed any kind of change. My pictures moved over, everything changed, And if I had already paid for the month, they would have given me a rebate for the amount of money that I had prepaid, but I did it at the beginning of the month, so it worked out just fine. But I think the switching over, all the sign-ins remain the same, the logins remain the same, nothing has changed on my passwords. And I haven't seen any other kind of branding that shows up that might come from Manatech or anything. It doesn't seem to be on my screen or anything that I can see. So it seems to be pretty transparent and painless. But anyway, that would give us our platform at a much lower cost to start that
That
out.
would be a good thing. Yeah.
So I think that potentially could save us, $50 a month, and we would have the same login passwords and be able to fix those or change those or anything we want. Anyway, I think that's probably a good economic opportunity to utilize that.
Well, it'd be paying $30 to save $50. So it would be that
Well, I'll take care of that.
that's something. Thank you, Glenn.
And that's
That's
not a
one-time
monthly fee.
thing,
That's an annual fee at $30.
That's an annual fee?
Yeah.
Wow.
In the network marketing world, companies are moving away from charging a lot to be distributors and stuff. Anyway, that's all changing.
So I love it. I love your passion about the store, and I love your idea, and I love wonderful things. I love that website, and I just want to put out there that it is so not mine to do. It's so not mine to curate products. It's so not mine to, I can help set up the website and create it until maybe it's a good time to jump over and get to a WordPress website. But
I don't know if we'll need to be on WordPress, depending on how hard it is to drop a link in, and if we get the picture of the product on the product page. I'm exploring that. I've got some other assets and people I can call on to explore how to make that happen.
we could do it on Nation Builder right now. We could put the product, we could put the link, and so they'd go right through, and that's no big deal. It just isn't pretty with this template that we're using right now. It's just not a pretty site. But we could totally do it right now. Add a page, it's the store right on our website, and you have pictures, and we begin curating, and you go through with our affiliate link. That's no big deal. It's organizing how we're going to curate the products, and we all could do that. We could say, what are your favorite things that really are living for the good of the whole, and bring in a list collectively and begin to add them.
Well, it becomes, I'll have to, create a volunteer team with our mentoring stewards or other people and say, okay, who wants to be on this team that's going to curate products for us? And we check them out. And we don't put any product up. We have to really enhance our integrity of the curation process so that we have only companies that are giving back, that are using responsibly sourced, pay goods, all that stuff that we have to make sure is in place. I'm
sure you could create that real easily with all your experience of what are those basic requirements that we're vetting for.
There was the Whole Earth Catalog that started doing this way long time ago, and I don't know what's happened to it, but
okay, can we move on a little bit?
Now let's move on a little bit.
This Muse and the other idea is, why do we have to create another host? We could ask them, hey, we're willing to put this up on Good of the Whole. Will you give us a percentage for? We'll cure, we'll be, it's just another way to go. It's less percentage, but it means that they're doing the whole, just the way they go to Amazon. We just go to them, just say, hey, we love what you're doing. Wonderful Things is for the good of the whole. We're willing to put it up on our website and promote it. And what percentage would you just give us for doing that?
You mean from Amazon?
Aspect, huh?
Well, from Amazon, we asked that. Amazon has literally got thousands of people like Wonderful Things.
No. I'm saying to Daniel and Rachel, I think is her name. It just call, like as a starter, like if you want to do something, because honestly, with what we're doing, like Julie's right, you need a team who's willing to do this. Period.
Right.
And we're, none of us are going to do it. As much as we would like to have a store, I think it'd be so cool.
Right.
But
Daniel and them, they're doing it for their own personal income.
No, I know that. But if they get visibility from a larger whole, I'm just saying it's just an idea,
I don't know. I don't know.
Anyway,
I don't know.
It's just a thought. just
they've
means that
got,
none of us are working it.
like I say, they're already made millions of dollars doing this. So
Right.
they're, anyway, we'll see.
Yeah. Anyway,
And
I think
then the last update I have is with the Ohana Legacy Network, the Legacy Foundation. In terms of, I told you last week that I had this connection through to the foundation in Baltimore, the what's it called? Where do I have it? The Weinberg Foundation. So they're about a $2.5 billion foundation. This past Friday, we were at a friend's house, and I just got the notion to mention to him that I was looking at talking with the Weinberg Foundation about about this piece of property that we found here in Kauai. And he says, "Oh, I'm best friends with the new executive director." So our the document link that you guys all have access to, I think you've seen it, or I don't know if you've gone on and looked at it or not, but that is now at the Weinberg Foundation, as in like it went in. Like, yeah, the guy called him on Saturday. They're all at home working. Everybody's at home. So this guy calls up my friend. My friend tells him a little bit about this. He said, "Oh yeah, I want to see that." So they're looking at this right now. So I'm expecting to have a call from them sometime this week about to have a call with him and just see if they want to donate this, piece of property to us. Maybe they want to be. I'm going to ask him if they would be our cash bank source. So give us a $20 million line of credit that we can draw on and pay for things and regenerate and pay back and borrow again. And you know what I'm saying? So I don't know what the universe has got going here, but it's certainly going nuts.
Yeah.
I love it.
And
Awesome.
we'll watch and see how this unfolds. So,
Beautiful.
and Shelly, if we get this piece of land, you're going to need to come out and douse the whole thing. So that we're looking at 11 acres on this particular thing. We got to know where the lines are. We got to see where the water well can be. We've got to find a lot of things on this land to make sure we're setting up in accordance with the universal principles, right?
Just send those whales over.
Yeah,
Meet them
exactly. You can route a whale back over here. So put your energy on positive connection there. I'm sure the universe is nudging everything into place. So we'll see how it flows, and we just keep going. So I think I'm complete.
Isn't
Great,
that
Glenn, you're a magician.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Love that optimistic approach.
And by the way, just for everybody, Good of the Whole is now an ambassador for Gaia TV. So no, we're not.
No, you haven't sent back the documents yet.
As soon as I send back these documents, Good of the Whole will be an ambassador for Gaia TV, which means we get a rebate for everyone that signs up. For not everyone, I think we have to have 25 sign up through Good of the Whole to Gaia TV, and then we get a $250 check that'll go directly to to Good of the Whole. And then as more people do it, then the percentage goes up. And so we might, once we get the paperwork done, we might want to put that on our digest.
It's in our store.
In our store. Exactly.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Awesome.
Because our store could have a lot of different things like this that don't have to just go through Amazon, but they could go directly to whomever. So
correct.
And it's really also building a relationship with Gaia. That's what we see. Anyway, so we'll do that today. Finish that. Can I really need to drop in something very immediate and local. I know we're getting over our time. We're probably over it anyway. Yeah. So this is really important. So as part of the connection field, we do have certain people that are coming in that we need to host them, at least in the beginning. And obviously I'm already hosting every single morning with Jose to start off that frequency and that field and make sure it's right. And Glenn offered to do Phil Lane till he finishes that, right, Glenn? The Sacred Tree. And And there's a little bit to that hosting, especially if they're going Facebook Live. And we need some help. So Linda, I want to ask you if you would be willing. What we're looking for is someone to host the European Grandmothers on Saturday. They need a little bit of help. I think after maybe 1 or 2 more times, they can probably do it on their own, except that we got to work out the Saturday and the hosting computer and all that stuff. Also, Chief Daryl Song, he's going to need a host Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, at least to begin with. And Uncle Raul Saturday morning. So I'm just giving you the sort of the breakdown. Otherwise, it's me doing the entire thing. And Connie's coming in tonight. I'll go in on Connie just to, basically for me, I just feel like it's important to get certain people, go in once and help them to feel that it's smooth going in and they understand the hosting and passing of the host. And then Jose has an amazing Jaguar Wisdom Council on Saturday from 2 to 4 that I think after one more time, he can probably host it himself. And we have to figure out how to make it work for people when there's a big span of break, whether we just keep the computer on. But so I'm just pointing out a plea because right now, I don't really feel necessarily comfortable with a lot of the mentoring stewards doing these Indigenous people. And so I'm asking if, like, Linda, I don't know if you'd be willing to this coming Saturday from 1 to 3 p.m. Eastern, hosting those European grandmothers. There's a couple of evening ones, Glenn. I don't know what you'd be willing to do.
Shelley,
I think,
I really think Kate could really do one of the Indigenous
no, she
women.
cannot. No, she can't. She cannot be capable. I mean, maybe if I work with her or do it with her, but this ask Glenn. It requires, if they're going to go live, and we want them to go live because this is reaching out into their communities.
She couldn't figure it out from her iPad.
Huh?
She couldn't do the technical stuff from her iPad.
Oh, I see. Oh,
Yeah.
that part
She
of it.
doesn't have the capacity of presence to be able to run these different.
I get it.
Everybody here has the capacity, but
I have not done Zoom and live Facebook at the same time. So you just need to show me.
right now the grandmothers don't want to go live. They just want to make sure they're recorded. More just a certain, like you or I have that presencing with the grandmothers. Like you would be fantastic. Not everybody is going live. I mean, Jose, Phil Lane wants to go. Pato definitely wants to go live, and I'll do that on Tuesday. So I don't know how much more, Glenn, you're willing to take 1 day or 2 days in evening slot of just helping to. Chief Daryl Song, his thing is really beautiful, but he has to leave his house to be outside to do what he's doing. And he's highly respected and as far as I understand, has a big following, but he needs help. So that's
what time is he on?
Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesdays, 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern.
You said Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. Which is it? Is it Wednesday or Thursday?
Monday, Tuesday, Thursday.
Okay.
That let me just double check. So again, I can just send out a little email to all of us, but if anyone can help out, and I will look at the mentoring stewards. Hold on one second.
By the way, I'll drop in one other little piece from the Zoom account that I was talking about. Unlimited cloud storage.
Oh, wow.
Actually, Julie, we should have unlimited cloud storage because we have that 500 account.
Is it unlimited cloud? We'll have to go back and look at.
No, because I'm working that cloud. I'm working the cloud. I mean, right now I want to tell people to stop sending things to the cloud unless it's one of us doing it because it's important. But
I don't think anybody should send it to the cloud unless I think people should, if they want to record them to their own computer, or if you want it, then you specify, and that's it.
So that's what I'm gonna put it on that document as well.
Darn, I just lost my train of thought.
But if they're recording for themselves and they're sending it out, they need to have they need to put in the connection field. They need to honor the connection field and not just go put it out. And that brings me back to something else. But so anyway, I just wanted to say, hey, even if you go like, okay, I'll do it this week, I'm not committing till the following week, just to help us get rocking here with some of these people, it would be really helpful.
And
Yes,
so
yes.
I did remember what, so number one, think about your residence council, the resident stewards. Some of them may be really good hosts.
I'll ask, you know what, I'll ask Henry, but I wouldn't give it to June, and she can't do it, and I wouldn't, not Dinama, not.
What about Sharon? Sharon did such a beautiful job with her introduction. And by the way, Linda, you kick ass at it. I'm like, so you have I love your 40 days. You did such an amazing job during the 40 days of really holding the field of the whole every time and coming in with the threads and pulling them through. And it was really beautiful. You did an amazing job.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I just want to say that I also invited Shelley to think that these people don't need to have hosts forever. We have to, this has to be real self-sufficient so that when we get these new people coming on, they have to learn how to do it themselves. And then know that if the connection field is idle and nobody's on, it'll kick it off after 45 minutes.
Wait a minute, say that one more time. Your computer?
Yeah. So when the Zoom room's on and it's only the host has it on, it will shut it off after 45 minutes if there's no activity on it. You have to have two people there. And then if there's two people there, even if it's two dummy computers, like if I turned my iPad on and it was on with the host computer and it sat idle, it would sit all night long like it did one night. Literally some strange person was logged on and just didn't have their camera on. And literally, and I'm like, okay. And so I go back and it's something coming on. But literally, he stayed on, and then finally, it was like really, really late. I'm like,
I've been one person on and left it on I left it on for hours on last Saturday, and I didn't get kicked out.
I do. And we got to remember, if somebody else logs on, then it does kick us out. Like if I have it on and somebody else logs on as good of the whole, and I'm only have it on and they don't give it back to me, it kicks it off. If they give it back to me, it's different. And I guess we'd have to play with that. But if I'm not if they don't give it back, the host back to me, I'm kicked off.
Right. So I mean, that goes for anybody. That's why we're all being really conscious about, if you go in as good of the whole for your evening events or whatever, you have to log out, period, unless there's something following and you have to get Julie on the phone and say, will you take over this? Does that make sense?
Now, one of the things I've been doing is I've been making good of the whole the host at the end of the evening when I'm finished at, at 5 o'clock Eastern. So I pass the host back to good of the whole, the picture that you have up, and then I leave the meeting. But the meeting stays live, right?
Well, that depends if Julie has it on. If you go, like I go in myself as good of the whole, it's not going to go back to her. It depends on whose computer is the host.
Right. Well, I go in as good of the whole for my programs.
Well, then you're the host.
No, I don't. I go in as myself, and then the host gets passed off to me. The hosting is passed off to me, and then I just pass it back to good of the whole at the end of the evening.
So let me just show you something really quickly before we go. Okay, because this is sorry. You see the calendar?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So right now it's fine, but as an example, like Pato and Antoinette end at 6:30, Radical Earth Resonance doesn't start till 8 or 9. I mean, it's filling itself in, as you can see, but and Glenn, just so that you know, take a look now, because we have events, and this is the other thing which is really tricky. And Glenn, I don't know, maybe you can see the heart coherence awareness, and some of these things are going to 1 to 12 a.m.
Yeah, we're doing like 14 hours a day now, right? 9 Eastern till or 8 Eastern.
No, we're going 8 Eastern. So these two. So I'm looking at a woman from India hosting these two calls, but I'm not sure she can actually do it because you just said she is doing it off her phone. So we
Hmm.
still might need the host computer. But
Well, I could turn those on, Shelley, like I did before. Let me see. Go back up again.
so that would be better. That would be really helpful because for me it's 6 a.m. For you it's 7 a.m.
But then, Shelley, then you have problems coming in to host the fire. That's
Yeah,
the problem.
I know that's making me a little nervous. I know. I don't want to have any more problems. But I could, no, actually what we could do, Julie, is you turn it on for her and then I'll have her, oh, right. I will have her, oh, right. I'll lose everybody. I don't know what the answer is right there, right now.
No, what do you mean you'll lose everybody?
Because one of the things that I discovered, and Julie and I discovered, and it was really harrowing with Jose, is that if Julie goes in and I come in on her computer, and for some reason, I'm not sure, but this is what was happening, and you didn't have that problem last night, whose computer did you go in on? Doing Phil on Saturday.
I was on my personal account.
Right. So no, but who's?
Oh no, actually I didn't. No, actually I didn't. I went into Good of the Whole, so I would be the host.
Right.
And I can make him a co-host and make you a co-host. I
Right.
can make
Julie,
everybody.
you didn't come in on Julie's computer.
No, I didn't come in on her computer, but I came in on the Good of the Whole account.
Maybe it's a deal of
Are you getting
passing
confused?
along co-host instead of host, Shelley. That
No.
we pass along co-host and we always have Good of the Whole be the host, except for you when you come on. But maybe we need to tell all the other hosts to only pass a co-host along. Make them a co-host and then they sign out. So
Instead of making people hosts.
yes, so that they can't keep that host on and leave and then we're getting knocked off. Because that's what's happening is they don't log off and then it's on their account and then we try to get in and it says, sorry, you're on another device.
Okay, well that definitely is one thing that I think you're right. I think we can instead of having people pass a host, they're just co-hosts.
Make somebody a co-host, yes. A co-house. A co-house or a co-host or a co-host or a caboose or
That's not the problem that we were having before, which is when you're the host and I come in and I try to do Facebook Live and it's not going.
yeah, I gave you the host, but it's still not going.
No, and Glenn came in by himself. There was no host computer, so he didn't have that problem. And that's what we have to reconcile. So you cannot come in with Julie as the host and try and do Facebook Live. At least my experience is it was a disaster.
It has worked, but
It worked for like 2 days, but then it didn't work.
and then it works and then it doesn't and then it works and then it doesn't. Because it did work, but sometimes it doesn't.
Right. So, I mean, the main thing is we can figure that out, but
So put that in the doc. We'll start making people co-hosts. And then you or I will keep the hosting capacity. Oh, look, you are now hosts. Grace just made me the host again.
okay.
Okay, so she just passed it off and closed out her time,
Yep.
seems like a good idea.
Yeah.
Cool.
But as far as Facebook Live, we need to have only one person going in through Good of the Whole and being I just would like to say it. If we don't want to have any problems, and we don't want any problems anymore right now, you have to have the clear. If, as an example, when I go in with Pato, I'm going in through the Good of the Whole portal. Nobody else is going. You cannot be going. Actually, this is a really important thing for us as advisory council. Do not go in as Good of the Whole ever unless you are the host for that event. Do not. You always go in.
Only if there's free time before you. Like Glenn's on Saturday night's fine. But if John's coming on and they're already up till now will be, then he wouldn't come in as Good of the Whole because Good of the Whole's already there.
But we're a problem I'll just go through it and I'll figure it out because it will only be a problem if the next, okay, here's an example. Daryl is coming in at 7 p.m. Eastern. If there is a lineup right up until him, then and he wants to go Facebook Live, then we end up having your computer as the host, and we might have a problem with Facebook Live. And we really shouldn't. I mean, there's no reason for this, but so far, it's just happened too many times, and it's really, I mean, people get upset, and it's not fun. That's all I can say. But anyway, I'll figure it out. If you know that you can take a look at the digest and look at some of those later events, Glenn, Linda, if you can do Saturday, and even if we just do this for this week, that would be helpful.
Okay.
Uncle Raul, he's a blast. His is at 11 a.m. 11 a.m. on Saturday. So he definitely needs a host. He's an elder. He can't do it by himself. So anyway, just putting it out. And I will look at the mentoring stewards or the advisory, the residence council, because I think Henry could definitely do it. But also going Facebook Live now, we have to have a waiting room. No Facebook's Lives without a waiting room.
I don't understand that.
Zoom bomb.
Unless we change the password.
Well, not even that. If you change it and publicize it, it makes it available to
No
the
more
client.
publicizing. No more publicizing it. The link anymore. So everyone, we're encouraging everyone to come in through Good of the Whole. They have to get their own link, unless, like Linda, if you had a best friend and you want to give them the link, but you're going to encourage them to go, they want the digest, that's fine if it's on a one-to-one basis, but there can be no more. So what happened on, I don't even know what day it was, 2 days ago, was a disaster. And we got Zoom bombed, and it was really intense. And basically, as a host, you cannot just think you're going to get rid of them, because they come in as a group, and it's like they come in like this. And so, but Jose has encouraged us right now not to change the password, and I'm willing to go with that. And so far, so good. So we're using a waiting room, which is it really makes it really great. So before you host it, if you're doing a Facebook Live, just come talk to me and we can talk about how that works. And we don't need it for the simple Zoom rooms. Julie, you're looking
Now,
like,
why is it different in terms of
I have a
Facebook
question
Live?
that's unrelated.
why?
Why is what?
Yeah, why is it unique when we're doing Facebook Live?
Because because the trolls are really scanning Facebook Live for those. That's the first way they find those numbers, is through the Facebook Live and putting it out on Facebook. So we have to go back in and get rid of that, but when you have a waiting room, and usually it's really great to have one other person doing it with you. And as an example, with Jose, I know most of the people that have already been in, so it's easy to let them in. And so the host is like letting them in. So every time someone pops in, you let them in. And but like with Jose or with a group,
But if we don't know the people coming in,
you have to ask them if then you're not
I think it's too complicated.
how do we discriminate?
It isn't complicated, I promise you. Just talk to me. I'm tired right now, but it isn't complicated. And you have to let people know, and this is maybe another piece of it, that's going to go out, is that people have to come on and they have to at least be willing to announce themselves. And you can kind of tell there are these weird names that they come in with. I don't think you didn't have any problem with Phil Lane's course, right?
Now, why don't you go through the process with us to remove them so that we all know how you remove them?
If you were to get a Zoom bomb, if you were to get somebody, you have to ask everyone immediately to take a breath. Just hold on, take a breath. And you're going to mute everybody, totally. You have to mute. There's no way you can get around it. You have to mute. So you go to participants, you're going to mute everybody. And then you're going to go through the participants and see the ones. You can actually see who they are, because they can come right in, and they're doing it while you're muting. And you just remove them, and they cannot ever come back. They cannot come back in. But that was the only way I got rid of them.
Can you just click on their picture and then that drop down comes that has a remove button in it? And
Yeah, whatever. I mean, I just went through the participant list and got rid of them.
Either way, Glenn, you can click on the person or you can go to the participant.
Yeah, either way.
So Shelley, I think we have an error on the calendar. Oriana's hosting something now and there's nothing on the calendar.
What? Why is she hosting something?
I don't know. She came in a few minutes ago, her and Randall.
No, go in and find out. Just go ask her.
Well, I don't want to just, I mean, they're talking. I'm not going to just go
No,
ask.
no, I will.
I could send her a
Oh.
chat.
Just go in and say, hey, the room is. Hold on one second. Let me just
It
look.
doesn't have to be closed if they stay on. I think it's wonderful. I just want to.
Actually, no. This is a part of honoring the field. I mean, if they're talking, if they're
They're,
considering.
Yeah, when I first logged in, thank you so much. I love you so much. And it was wonderful to, when you looked up and saw my.
Yeah, it was so funny. Yeah, 'cause I'm sitting here trying to.
Okay, so what's happening is, I know what's happening. So
you-
people are leaving the room open for people to stay on and talk, and they can't be doing that. So I'll just go in and say, hey guys.
well, here's what happens when I give the host back to go to the hole, the room does stay open and I leave. But if there's other people that dropped in, they can drop in. Anybody can drop into the space while the room's open. You follow me?
it's all people that know the connection field. So nobody's going to abuse it, but it's Oriana and Randall and Kate and Caro and
No,
Rocky
but-
Robin.
They're
No,
just still chatting.
I know, but
Yeah.
it kind of. I
So
get
nobody's
it 'cause it's
hosting
happened
that particular
before.
hour.
Huh?
Nobody is hosting this particular hour. They're just in there chatting.
Right. So we don't really want that. I mean, especially if we don't feel like people can. I don't know.
Well, Oriana is a host at another time, right? So I don't know. It's like I don't know how you kind of monitor that, you know. I mean, because the room is there and they're just continuing their
Okay, whoever
connection.
I'll tell you, Shelley, some of the most amazing things happen when we leave it open, because that's what I've done with the computer. I'll leave it on and you wouldn't believe that's the day that Kate and the two young girls went for hours when nobody was hosting.
I know it's happening. It's happening a lot, and
It's happening a lot.
Okay, so I think. All right, so we'll just leave.
I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing at all. It's just they're just connecting and talking and sharing what they're doing. And it's like, well, okay.
Oriana said, I am by default. I said, are you hosting this hour? And she said, I am by default, apparently.
So
Do we leave her in? She knows how to host. She didn't.
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's fine up until I guess I go back in for.
The trust frequency. I just was asking because it wasn't on the calendar, so I didn't
No,
want
I
to.
understand it, and I know it's been happening, and I've let it happen too. I just wonder as we're getting. I guess if we don't have anything, then I don't know.
yeah, but I think it's sort of a bonus session.
Folks,
A
beautiful
lot of
session.
love
I
has
gotta
been
go.
happening there. It's totally true, huh?
We'll see you later.
John,
Thank you.
bye. Thank you.
Aloha, John.
Aloha, ahola.
Yeah, I'm
Thank
getting
you.
busy. Yeah, whatever. I don't really care.
Are we complete?
What?
Are we complete?
I'm complete. Are we
I
complete?
think we're just a
I
complete
think
us.
so, yeah.
I have a question, and maybe Glenn, you can help me with this, but I really need to get Pachamama Pajamas a trademark. Do I?
Go to Legal
Right.
Zoom.
Go
You can look at
online.
LegalZoom, but not really. If you have the trademark goes with first usage. So if you've used it or whatever the mark is that you've identified as your logo, and somebody else starts using that logo after you, you have rights to that logo.
So all I have to do is put a TM or something, put the little symbol behind it when I talk about it or write about it.
You can do that, or you can put a copyright, a C with a circle around it too. but everything that you write now is automatically copyrighted. You don't even have to declare that it's copyrighted. It just is.
Okay.
But you can do a little Google search on trademark and see what they say. But if you're not willing to spend the money legally to enforce the trademark, it's just not really worth having, because it costs money to file a trademark, and then you've got to have the legal background or the legal team to go in and enforce the trademark, which makes it problematic. So, but everything we write now is copyrighted, considered copyrighted material, and whether it's got a copyright symbol on it or not.
I just want to know when I can start putting Pachamama Pajama out there as a concept for people to help out. You know, we have so many indigenous groups now.
As soon as you got your website
Yeah,
locked down, so yeah, you got your website nailed.
Do you want a page on the website, Linda? And
That
then,
would be fun.
okay. And with $100, we could do the DBA, or it could just be through Good of the Whole, and it doesn't have to be a DBA, but we could put a page up on the website.
I'll get some things written up.
Okay.
Send it to
And
you.
create a video and do your little guy and pictures, and we'll create a page.
Hey, I just want to just tell you this really beautiful thing from there's this indigenous elder that comes on the calls, and he just said, he was just really remarking to us, thank you for helping those of us who are just finding our way to these beautiful circles for the good of the whole. Pil Amaya for the visionary you are. And I mean, he's saying it to me, but it's your leadership is seen and appreciated. I mean, that's the good of the whole portal that's happening for these people. It's pretty amazing. So anyway, I just want to. I'm getting pretty wiped out. I've been on for hours. I'm
Thank you.
So,
Yeah.
I thank you. I don't get feedback at all, ever. It's like, oh, it's nice to hear that people
well,
are.
I want more. I mean, that's kind of why, like, why I made Linda stop, because I knew she was, you know, and maybe it was Glenn. I can't remember anymore. But like, I'm making these short videos where I can feel it coming and catch them, because I think that these are the beautiful expressions that are coming through the field in gratitude for what is being created, not just from the advisory council, but I'm going in and I'm just, you know, waiting for those right moment of trying to catch those, the gratitudes that are coming from the field. So
I tried to capture that the other day, and I was recording. I got like a tail end of someone who was just saying, I felt you. I've never been on here before, but here I am. I mean, people are like, how do you even find the number? No, I don't know. Oh, I saw something on Facebook and it led me here. And they just absolutely fall in love. It's really.
So in terms of the Zoom bombing, to be really honest, for the percentage of people that are having that experience to a one day of Zoom bombing, you know, and really it's, we have to be more discerning about, obviously, about the password, but in terms of what's happening here, you know, I mean, my hope is we just get up, you know, be able to share some of these expressions that are happening, like what he just shared, like, wow.
So when you come on as a host, does it give you an option of having a waiting room? Because I haven't done that yet.
Yeah, and I can go over
Yeah,
it.
it's in that security emblem.
The best thing is to have someone
And
you
your
know
host.
who's going to be on the call with you. You may just make them a co-host so they do it with you. It's much easier. So, but really, after doing it one or two times, it's very easy. And you just, you know, and if it would be just a rare person, but I don't really get that that's our attractor field. I think it was really targeted at Jose, to be really honest. And you know, he has a pretty big voice and a pretty big, you know, of what he's saying, and some people aren't going to like it. And it was, so I think that, oh, I do not want to talk to you. So anyway, right now, like as an example, if you were to go on one of those bigger calls, Linda, I would just come in with you, like, so that you could feel what it feels like. I'm not going to make anybody do it by themselves to begin with, except Glenn. I kept thinking I wasn't coming in for another hour, and luckily you were there. So,
Yeah, and then I did the Facebook Live out of the Good